just picking up from the previous aspect that you mentioned about Parampara Siksha. Some of us teachers today, how do we relate to a parampara, and how do we become, well versed or trained in a certain parampara? How do we develop the related nuance and sadhana, as you mentioned? Another question associated with that is, I believe you mentioned that there is a certain, basic set of subjects that is common, and then you overlay it with a deeper, let's say, area of focus. um, how do we develop an opportunity to know which area that we would like to invest ourselves in, as a teacher or as a child, both? That is something I'm curious to know about.
See, we have to transpose the context from the tradition to here. Because in the tradition, understanding numbers and working with how do you make yourself economically viable, if you have to become a grahastha, what is the demands of a grahastha ashrama, training a young person for all this would have been the generic learning. Today, of course, that is not enough. Today you need to know your computer, you need to know your various apps that are coming in. So that is a different kind of demand on the child. But the problem is, in today's education, just the demand of the technology has replaced learning. So you're just making a person capable of handling technical equipment. So they're actually technicians. This is being called learning. This is a huge problem, including, like, for example, 25 years ago when I did my architecture, at least I learned to draw. And I did all my design with my hands. Today, everything is being done by AutoCAD. So the sense of scale has no relationship with the body anymore. They're doing it on a small screen. So the idea of spatial scaling has completely gone out of the window. You go into houses designed by young people today, the scale is abysmal. It has no relationship with the human body anymore, right? And I think this is a huge problem. Just because you've got the skill to come up with a three-dimensional drawing that is being done by a computer doesn't mean you're a designer, right? So you have to now break it down. What is the basis of being a good designer or a good therapist, a good healer, if you're a doctor? Then what is the basis? It means that your capacity to respond to space would be your understanding of spatial proportion. Your capacity to understand the nuances of a patient's problems or pain would be ability to listen to it, would be the basis of a therapist, and so on. All that has been replaced with knowing your pharmacopoeia. In medicine, you just know what are the medicines in the market and you're just prescribing it. So you're not responding to the pain or the problem that the person in front of you is going through. You don't know how to listen. So going back to the Parampara Siksha, your faculties have to be opened out so that you can start experiencing. So I would say today's teacher has to go back into an unlearning and a new learning. The unlearning is not constantly trying to assimilate data. Put it aside. Pick up one aspect. Like, for example, like I said, space. How am I responding to space? So there are ways in which you can give exercises, blindfold them, make them taste things, make them smell, make them touch, ask them to walk through a space, understand what are all the elements in that space, take a sheet of paper and draw what they have seen. Their understanding after having drawn with the elements in the space would have shifted, because they wouldn't have noticed so many things until they have been asked to notice,
Yeah.
right? So I would suggest that you create a training program for teachers to go through experiential learning, which means opening out the faculties, touching things. Like we have all these exercises, in our process workshops.
Yes.
You do a blindfold and get them to touch the head, feel the hands of somebody, just listen to the voice, understand the nuances, tone behind the voice, things like that. This will help them to open out parts of themselves they have never invested in, rather than just quickly, glibly knowing data and you're just adding to it. I think that would be a very important step. It need not be a very long term thing. Just get them to explore their own faculties and learn to listen to someone else. What are the tone variations when people are speaking? So, and also using the hands. I think more and more people are not using their fingers for writing, for three-dimensional sculptural work, gardening, working in the soil, cooking. All these are seen as waste of time, because you're so busy acquiring new knowledge, new information. I wouldn't even call it knowledge. That all this is seen as waste of time. I would say stop and learn to relish with your hands, with your tongue, with your hearing. Relish sound, relish food, and recultivate the capacity to open out your senses. I would say that would be this first step.